So bring the stingers back to the camp. But yeah, there's loads of stuff to do. I mean, the Mirkwood cluster's changed since launch as well. So originally it came out with the Sword Halls, which was a free man. The instance of which has been completely reworked since launch for how the mechanics work. The Dungeons of Dol Guldur was originally a 3-man instance, but it's now a 6-man instance. I'll bugger you. Oh, shot the snake. Sorry, snake. So that's been like updated and changed a bit as well. Then you had the Warg Pens of Dol Guldur, which again is a 3-man. You had Samath Ghul, which is a 6-man. And then the Raid, which is Barad Guldur, which is pretty cool, but that's kind of changed a bit and got nerfed over the years. Pretty much every raid gets nerfed over time. That's the thing you notice as well. So back in the days when you had the original version of the raid, where everyone was like struggling to do it, and these days it's easier not only because people are used to it and people know the tactics and stuff, but also because of, you know, the balancing gets kind of thrown out with new expansions and changes to classes that make them more OP than they were back at the day when the instance came out. So it can kind of throw things a bit off track. I've ended up going really far east that I didn't intend to, but whatever. Water sample. That's the last one I need. There we go, so we have to take that back to town. Now we need to find Stigger, so I'm guessing he might be on the hill east of this camp, and I have pulled something. So somewhere around here. Is it this one? Right, this is the one. Right, Stigger. So yeah, it's just east of the R of the Drownholt on the map. Map coordinates 18.1 south, 56.9 west. Splat him. Bang. Oh, that was a pretty poor splat. That was a mild conclusion. It wasn't even a conclusion because we're still going. Okay, so move across. Let's speak to this guy over here. So for the epic story, we actually have to go back to OG Greyhammer and the Haunted Inn. And I can't remember what the next follow-up is. It might be just to go to Emin Lum. We'll have to see. So he says, hello, I'm a scout. Go back and talk to the people back in town. The dry branches are on the northwest of the Drownholt. So technically, they're not even in the Drownholt. They're kind of more... It's technically the Dowerstogs, I guess. Hello. Who are you? Hello? Mr. Shard Dropper. Casually strolling through. I've never seen this one before. But at least he didn't gank me like that Warg Rider. I don't know if this is going to be putting more than I can chew, especially if I get that Swamp Cat. Alright, let's go. Alright, he's melee. It's cool. Melee's good. Oh crap. I pulled a Swamp Cat. Drop stone. Drop stone. I think the Swamp Cat's going to be the bigger problem rather than this guy. There we go, 3.5k with the Palpatine fingers. That was a good start. There we go, just under 3k with Thunder as well. Taste my lightning. I'll go a half-assed sustaining bolt as well just to get some morale back. And I'm at full health by the time I finish this. Fantastic. There we go. So he should have dropped a, there we go, Mithril Flake. Just because he was the named special mob there. But yeah, I've never seen that one before. The Warg Rider that ganked us in the Murkeeves, I've seen him a lot. But he can spawn anywhere in that region. I've seen him spawn like over by the Warg Dens before as well. Okay, so sneaking past here. So we come to like the northwestern part. And then we kind of go out of the swamp and start climbing a hill. Might have to go a bit further inland. I'll probably get across here. It's a bit dark. If you guys are wondering if you can see anything, I'm wondering the same thing. So yeah, we're kind of like coming out. It's more like in the... yeah, strictly speaking, there we go. It's saying it's the Murkeves. Now we're back in the Drownholt. Okay, we need to go over the other hill. So if we start climbing over here, and they're all going to kind of be like scattered around going up this hill to the west, so we just have to get 10 of these. Preferably without pulling anything if we can help it, but there's probably going to be a few things that will aggress on me. I think I'll just go up the hill and then come straight back down. Let's double check over the crest. So I think if we go literally over the crest, we're going to end up falling down into the Murkeves proper. Because that's a way of making sure the only way out of the Murkeves is through the Gostanon gate, which is what was gating us in before. So if we turn around now and start going back down, we should hopefully find a few on the way down, and we might have to come and loop back up again up the hill as well. Can't see any more down that way, so let's come across. There's one down there. Can't see any over that way, so down here, that's number 7. And I guess a little bit further north. Don't think there's any to the east, is there? What was that? That's a firefly. It is directing me up in this direction at the very least, so there we go. 1, 2. Oh, that that crawler was actually growling at me there. It's very nice of him. Okay, so there is more than you need. So I've got one to the left, and I've got one up there, and I think there's one beyond that tree as well. Or it might have been a firefly's arse. Well, there's one over the background there, there's one there. There's plenty to go. That's actually a repeatable quest as well. Although why you would need the repeatable quest I don't know, because there's more than enough quests to get maximum reputation. They weren't quite as evil back in the days of designing Mirkwood to force you to grind repeatable quests in order to max out your rep with a faction. Right, so we need to get back to camp then, so I'll go back manually at least once, so you guys can kind of like know how you can get out of this hell-forsaken swamp. Because as we left the camp, I had to jump off the cliff to get down. It's the easiest way to get down there, but getting back up is a little bit more of a pain. So we kind of, the way I was used to go is if you go across the northern side of this swamp and try and avoid the swamp cats. So along the northern side of the swamp, in the middle parts, you can easily climb the roads north and climb out the hills anyway, without too much hassle. Now I think this is actually probably where I want to turn off. So just where you get to these tree icons on the map, just west of the camp. We don't want to go down there, we want to kind of come up this hill. Now we can literally climb to the very peak of this hill and just plonk ourselves over into the camp, or we can ride all the way around and then come in the main entrance. But otherwise, I'm not sure if you can, I think there might be like a slope up from the south you can get up as well, but that's just the way that I normally come up. So if we hand in all these bits and pieces,
how can I be of service? Will you lend me your ear?
And ding, level 64. So we need to use the draft to strengthen your resolve before entering the pool. So if I just get off my horse, I have to drink the magic potion now before we go touch the water again. And we need to defeat 18 Boglights, because why couldn't it be 5 or 10? Who knows? 18 of the buggers. Hand in that one, so that's the guy with a repeatable quest. And then if I just mount up so I can move around the camp a little bit quicker. So,
what can I do for you?
no follow up to that one.
Stay a moment.
Summon Mirefang and defeat him. So I think that's a big ass wolf. Terror of the Drownholt.
What can I do for you? Might you spare a
So,
moment?
talk to Nifty at his camp, which is a small fellowship quest, allegedly. So, it might just be a bit of a tougher one. You might not necessarily need a small fellowship. And I'm certainly not aware of it needing a small fellowship. I think it's because it's going to send you into this tree glade, which is a bit of a dick, quite frankly. Right. The other thing we want to do is talk to Oshi Greyhammer at the Haunted Inn. So let's just go hand that in, just in case he's got a follow-up that might be relevant to the Drownholt. I don't think so, because I think he's going to send us to the next region. But we'll go double check anyway. So he's in here over by the fireplace.
This place fills me with uneasiness.
So no, we're going to go downstairs in a second. So Rosar and Stigger were just here at Laniel, and they had the strangest stories to tell. Each of them reported seeing familiar faces among the tangled bushes and briars, and hearing voices on the wind, but when they approached, filled with amazement to see lost friends in such a place, there was no sign of anyone. But lo, further ahead, an encouraging wave and a smile. This place fills me with unease, said Laniel. Thank you for rescuing my brothers. Without your aid, I fear there would have been too fewer Greyhammers in this world come sundown, if sundown ever truly leaves this grim wood. Broin is in the cellar. Tell him my brothers are safe, and ask him too if the elves have come to an agreement on how to proceed. The sooner we move on from this place, the happier this Greyhammer will be. Continue. So maybe the follow-up here is to do the scouting. I wasn't sure if the scouting comes at Emin Lum. So, downstairs, there's Broin.
This waiting wears thin. The elves have still not decided which
So
way
he's
to
going to
go.
give me some tracking compasses, which I'm not sure. Do they work in PvP? I don't know, but otherwise they're probably not really much use. Hello again, Atlaniel. The waiting has already begun to wear thin, and my patience was stretched to begin with. The elves have not yet decided which way to go. Perhaps you can help them decide, if anyone can.
Someone must take charge, or it will be next winter before we advance a single step.
The death of the elf Radir has made uncertain the fate of this journey, Atlaniel. For none of the elves know by which way he planned to bring us in secret to Dol Guldur. Speak with the elves here in the cellar, and try to decide on the proper course. Someone must step forward and take charge, or it will be next winter before we advance even a single step, and who knows what will befall Bori in the meantime. So let's chat with the elves. So yeah, there's Mazog in his cage, he's still there, confirmed. He just said something rather offensive to me, I'm sure.
Let us move directly eastward to Dol Guldur by the straightest way.
So then, he says, we cannot wait here for a revelation that may not come at Laniel. We will never know what road Radir intended for us to take. No, we must decide, and decide quickly. The quick road will be the safest road. Let us move directly eastward to Dol Guldur by the straightest way. Radir believed our greatest strength was in secrecy, but the dangerous path through the Drownholt cost him his life. Let us be done with secret ways. The straightest course, like a swift arrow, is the one we should now take if we wish to avoid a similar fate. So you want to take the direct route, Arkador?
We should head south through the stony reaches of Tower Morvi.
So Radir brought us to the Drownholt, despite the danger for a reason, Daniel. He must have planned for us to take the southernmost way towards Dol Guldur and bring us in secret up to the southern base of the rocky spire upon which the fortress stands. We should therefore head south through the stony reaches of Tower Morvith. That is the way Radir wanted us to go, I am sure of it. The other members of the company may disagree, but we must at least set out, or his death will have been for naught. And then, conveniently, option 3 is going to say something completely different.
The enemy would never expect us to take the road through the Scuttledells.
So, option 3. I do not know what to do, Atlaniel. I believe Radir thought to approach Dol Guldur by the ways least likely to be watched by the forces of the enemy, but our excursion into the Drownholt. I have to believe that Radir knew what he was doing, Atlaniel, and that he knew the risks. But still he took us into the Drownholt. He must have had a good reason. The enemy would never expect us to take the road through the Scuttledells, for that place has a dangerous reputation. That is the path of greatest secrecy, and only through the Scuttledells will we come to Dol Guldur with our prisoner and our presence unannounced. So we spoke to everyone, and now we need to go outside and talk to Coucheron, who is the only other surviving member of the company who has not weighed in. So he's outside the main entrance to the Haunted Inn.
Ask 3 elves which way is best to take, and you will receive 3 answers, each different.
So he pretty much just summed up the problem we have now. This is as I expected, Adlaniel. Ask 3 elves which one is the best way to take, and you will receive 3 answers, each different. We have little time left to waste. I want you to scout these 3 proposed roads, my accommodating roomkeeper, and assess the dangers along each. Perhaps that will aid with our decision. Seek the scouts we sent to the Scuttledells, Emin and Tower Morvith, and question them about the dangers they have encountered. So we have to find those 3 scouts, which are going to be hopefully on my map. So one is up here in the northeast of the Scuttledells, one is literally at Emin, and one is just south of Emin, walking distance pretty much, just on the northwest corner of Tower Morvith. But we're going to leave the scouting until the next chapter of our storyline. So when we go to Emin, then I'll pick up with the epic story then. So we're going to put that on hold for now, remove that, and in the meantime let's head back over to the Drownholt, so I can take a stable master.
What do you need?
Since I've already unlocked both of those guys. I think most of our quests are actually going to be on the western side as well, so annoyingly I'm going to have to defeat 18 of these lights, which is going to take a while, and I'm sure you guys are probably not going to want to watch me kill all 18 of those. I was wondering if it was actually going to despawn then. There's a pretty long sort of loading screen to kick in there before I actually transitioned. So just quickly ride through the camp, just make sure there's no quest rings that I've missed, but that should be it then. So we're going to dump over here. Now there's plenty of bog lights around. I think literally if I just sort of head slightly west, there's loads of these guys around here. It should, pretty much, it's indicating on the map where they are, and it's actually pretty accurate this time. So dismount. So you notice as well, now that we've drunk the magic potion, we don't get those horrible nasty debuffs. I mean, they're not too bad really, they're more of a nuisance rather than horrible. So we can now move through here without getting the power and the run speed debuffs. So yeah, we murder a boglight, that's one of 18. So I'll cut away and kill the remaining 17 off camera, so you don't have to watch me slowly whittling these guys down, and I'll pick up with you shortly.